does your writing day look? I know you're a big proponent of you believe writers should write every day. So what does that look like? And what if I only write 5 words, 1 sentence per the day? Does that count as her having written that day?
I think it does. In my opinion, writing every day, it could be anything. It could be you doing the dishes and thinking of scenes in your head and thinking of the dialogue you would use and putting characters in this way or that way or in a different room. And to me, that's writing. You're using those creative juices and whatnot, or thinking of the dialogue. I do that a lot when I'm driving or listening to a book on craft. I think that's a good exercise too. I do that a lot. Or just reading, reading somebody else's work. That in itself, I think, is also a form of writing if you're analyzing, the material as well. But as long as you do some of that every day, and yeah, it's nice if you have the time to sit down and actually jot down words. That's going to help you a lot too. But if you do write a paragraph and the next day you find you're short in time, in your memory, refer back to that paragraph and try to rewrite it in your mind, and you'll see that sometimes it comes out better, with you just thinking about it, and to the point that it'll come better to me at a certain line of dialogue that I keep repeating to myself, trying to make it better. And I have to put the dishes down and dry my hands quickly and go write it down somewhere before I forget, because but I'm constantly in my head, I'm in the shower and I'm thinking about it. I'm waking up and I'm thinking about it, so it's always something that's in my head.
Do you keep a regular schedule of I'm going to write from this time to this time every day, or? You're laughing at me. That doesn't seem like that.
I wish. I mean, that's the bad thing, that when you're starting out and that first book, you have that luxury of time. You just not waltz through it, but you have a lot of time to revise and rethink it and revise and whatnot. You have beta readers, you have mentors, you have critique partners and whatnot. And then you submit it, sign the contract, and all of a sudden you have a deadline for book 2. And it's a set deadline, it's a hard deadline. So now you're under the clock to write that second book. You don't have that luxury of, okay, today I'm going to do this, or today I'm going to, no, now you got to write. So that's what I've discovered now, that now when they tell me this is due, yeah, I got to make time for it or figure out how I'm going to do it. And I wish I could tell you that, yes, I write from this hour to this hour, but I don't. have 2 small kids. And with COVID, I had to homeschool, and the dynamic that it changed to try to make time, a certain schedule. So I wrote whenever, they're playing. If they're quiet for the time, that's when I sneak out and start writing or whatnot. Same thing now that they're back in school. This is the first time they're back in school. So I'm starting to get into a routine, and I'm forcing myself because I don't have a deadline. So yeah, I push my writing first, edits or whatnot, and then I have the launch coming out. So if my edits are done, then yeah, I go into the marketing, okay, how to promote the book, how to learn that. And hopefully once edits and launch are done, then I could focus on other projects. I'm hoping I have a couple of picture books in mind and a YA. So I'm hoping little by little I could get time for those, so I could start learning that magic of picture books. So we'll see.
During a pandemic, I got an email a couple of weeks ago now. It was a very nice email from a reader, and they asked me, "Where's Banneker Bones 4? When can I look forward to that?" And I'm like, I was homeschooling a 7-year-old while I was finishing Banneker 3. You don't know how close it came to you not getting that book. We're going to have to wait a long time before there's a Banneker Bones 4. Sorry, buddy.
No, exactly. I mean, that's the way, especially my kids, both of them, I had 2 of them that were in homeschool. And for each one, I had about 5-7 different apps. One for math, one for reading, one for story time, one for science, social studies. And each app had a different password. And they couldn't match the passwords because somehow they knew they were, it was me. So they wouldn't let me do the same username, the same password, and even between their accounts either. So it was just chaos. I was just losing my mind. So, but yeah, I'm here. I can't believe it. It's almost launch day for me. I'm here. I didn't think I was going to make it this far, but I'm here.
Well, you're going to have a tremendous launch for Barefoot Dreams, and then you're coming back strong with book 2 next year. And then it sounds like you've got plans for, I mean, obviously you got to get book 2 and the translation and continue to homeschool the kids and all of that. But when that's done, sounds like you've got plans to stay within YA and middle grade writing, you think, or are you going to maybe try some other genre?
I do have ideas here and there flowing, but mainly they're all middle grade. Majority are middle grade. And I have a few picture book and a couple of Ys, but middle grade is my favorite age. I just love that age. You know, it's that, you know, in between, you know, being still with the family, but trying to get that independence. And I think it's such a marvelous age when they're learning how to become independent and how to detach and be on their own. So it's beautiful.
I agree 100%, obviously, and I should clarify, just in case there's any doubt for our esteemed audience. I know that there are some people that ask a question like that, like, when are you going to write a real book for adults? That is never the rate in which I mean that question. I like books for adults, but middle grade books, that's the real books. So with what you're doing, you're doing God's work.
Yep.